Why does it feel like the more good you carry in your heart, the heavier the world presses down on you? Why does it seem like the deeper you think, the lonelier you become? And the more honest you are, the more you're punished for it. You've watched it happen, again and again. The purest voices silenced, the most thoughtful ignored, the strongest hearts shattered, while the liars rise, while the shallow succeed, while the manipulators shape the rules. You've wondered in quiet moments, why does this world destroy the best among us? Machiavelli knew the answer. He didn't whisper it. He carved it into the spine of power. He watched the good die. He watched the brilliant fall. And he wrote not to comfort, but to expose the cruelty beneath society's mask. Because the truth is, society does not reward greatness. It fears it. Machiavelli understood something most still don't. The qualities that make you valuable also make you a threat. Not to truth, but to order. See, society isn't built on virtue. It's built on stability, on illusion, on predictability. And the moment someone walks in with clarity, vision, or uncompromising strength, they disrupt the carefully crafted dance. The thinker becomes a target. The pure heart becomes a problem, and the lion is cornered, not because he roared, but because others trembled when he did. The innovator makes enemies of all those who prospered under the old order. Machiavelli wrote, not enemies from ignorance, but enemies from comfort, because when you try to change things, even for the better, you reveal how broken everything is, and those who benefited from the brokenness, they don't want fixing, they want silence. You see it in workplaces where the competent are sidelined because their excellence threatens the fragile egos of those above them. You see it in families where the most self-aware child is gaslit into submission. You see it in cultures that praise mediocrity and crucify those who dream too loud. Because when a person of depth walks into a room full of shallow souls, they don't see inspiration, they see exposure. So society, in its quest to protect the system, begins its quiet war. Not with swords, but with shame. You'll hear, you're too much. You think too deeply. Why can't you just be normal? They won't kill your body. They'll kill your momentum. They'll call your fire arrogance, your integrity stubbornness, your refusal to follow the herd dangerous. Because Machiavelli said it clearly, men in general judge more from appearances than from reality. And society runs on appearances. You think they'll value your truth? They're too distracted by the lie that sparkles louder. It starts subtly, the silent glances, the awkward exclusions. The people who once admired you now avoid you. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because your presence convicts their comfort. Society wants those who comply, not those who awaken. Because those who awaken question. Those who question resist. And those who resist reveal how asleep the rest truly are. Machiavelli understood what few dared to say. Society doesn't want to be saved. It wants to feel safe, even if that means letting brilliance rot, even if that means watching the exceptional be crushed. Because that's easier than facing what they've ignored. And here's where the tragedy sharpens its blade. The best among us, they don't just fall. They fall in silence. They don't scream, they don't beg. They just slowly retreat. Because they think it's their fault. Because they think they're broken, but they're not. They've just been surrounded by people who can't hold their weight. By structures that weren't built to support greatness, only sameness. Men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs, Machiavelli observed, that a deceiver will never lack victims. And so the loud rise, the clever but empty dominate, because society isn't structured to detect quality. It's structured to reward utility. Can you entertain us? Can you keep us calm? Can you make us feel right, even when we're wrong? If you can, welcome. If you can't, suffer. You who question everything. You who feel everything too deeply. You who can't laugh at what isn't funny. You are not defective. You are dangerous to a world that fears introspection. You are the soul that makes systems tremble. You are the mirror that makes masks fall off. You are the storm they pretend isn't coming, and that's why they will mock you. before they ever understand you. They will discard you before they ever read your truth. They will praise your silence and fear your voice. But Machiavelli didn't write this to make you bitter. He wrote it to make you aware, because when you understand the game, you stop blaming yourself for losing a system rigged against you. So what do? Machiavelli would say, adapt, not by becoming what they are, but by mastering how they move. You don't have to betray your truth, but you must learn to cloak it. You don't have to scream louder, but you must learn when to speak and when to watch. You don't have to burn down the system, but you must learn to infiltrate it. The best among us are not meant to suffer endlessly, but they will if they keep expecting the world to reward virtue over perception. Because here's the brutal Machiavellian law. The great majority of mankind are satisfied with appearances, as though they were realities. So you must master appearance if you want to protect essence. Not because you're fake, but because the world cannot handle what is real until it's disarmed by illusion. Think of the wolf in sheep's clothing, not to devour, but to survive. Think of the fire hidden under still water. Think of the storm that arrives in silence and rewrites the sky. That is you. And if you're still listening now, maybe you've felt that ache in your chest, the kind that says, no one sees what I really carry. Machiavelli would nod and whisper, few see what you are, but everyone sees what you appear to be. So it's time you learn to wield both. You are not alone. You are not mad. You are not broken. You are simply built for a world that doesn't know how to hold what you are until you teach it to. So listen closely. They will try to soften your edge. Don't let them. They will try to explain your silence away. Let them fail. They will try to erase you from the table. Build your own. They will say you're too much. Smile, because you were never meant to fit in. You were meant to rise so far above. They'd have no choice but to look up. If this message cut into something quiet inside you, if it made you feel like someone finally said what you've always known, then share it, because somewhere another mind like yours is slipping into silence, believing they're the only one. But now, you know better, and so should they.